Welcome back, brothers and sisters. This is Second Legacy, and thank you for stopping by. I am Braden, this guy's Tim, and this is the Gun Channel where we talk about the happenings going on in the 2A today, add a little bit of sarcasm, a lot of love, and send you out better than you came. And that is what we're going to aim to do today because, guys, Tim's going to lose his mind. I might lose mine because we've got to look at Kathy Hochul, and anytime we have to listen to her, it's going to be a thing. But there's something big that you guys have to know about what just happened on MSNBC when she was talking to Reverend Sharpton. This is going to be something amazing. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And with that, Tim, are you ready? Are you fully ready for MSNBC, Reverend Al Sharpton, and Kathy Hochul?
I don't think so. So let's just do the Band-Aid thing and just rip it straight off. And then let's just rip
it right off. Dive right in.
Yeah, because I have a feeling it's going to be painful.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Well, you know, Tim, there's a rule in the Democrat gun control side, and you can confirm or deny this, but the standing rule is anytime that you're in trouble politically because of your actions and your policies that into the police officer's death in New York this past week, you go on MSDNC because they will provide you a soft launching point to start your propaganda machine and really build back better, right? Well, that's kind of one of the things. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
That's a well-known...
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Go to Friendly Skies. Friendly Skies. Well, let's hit number 5 and start off Reverend Al Sharpton providing one of the most obvious attempts at propaganda you've ever seen. Let's just hit it.
A Democrat. Governor, let's start with the fatal shooting of New York City police officer Jonathan Diller, which has dominated the news in your state since his death on Monday. Former President Donald Trump attended the wake on Long Island Thursday. Yesterday, you went to the wake as well, and you met with family members. The tragedy obviously sparked a debate about crime, guns, and criminal justice, and many of us deplore the shooting of policemen. You've been consistent with that, but also consistent with everyone must stay within the law. What can you share about your thoughts on these issues as crime statistically has gone down in your state? But what do we need to do more of?
I know what she's going to say. Boy, that was a rambling intro, wasn't it, by him?
God.
She could just go, ban guns.
I mean, No, not yet. Not yet. That's actually one of the important things we're going to dive into.
I don't know what these clips contain. I have no idea.
I know. That's the best part. I'm sharing with you the greatness that happened on the TV, internet, social, political, and we get to have a real conversation. I'm bringing you in, Tim. I'm bringing you in with a hug, providing a safe space for you. Well, you know Al Sharpton is
a racist?
A bit of
what?
I was going to say propagandist. I can use your word.
Well, it was a 50-50 choice for me, so...
It was 50-50, but the thing that I love the most about this is in the wake of the issue that's happening where a police officer was killed by felons who have been arrested 14 and 21 times in New York City in gun-free zones with felonies, and they had guns where they scrubbed off the serial numbers, creating ghost guns, right? All of that, and they were out on bail for gun crimes, by the way.
Yeah.
Governor Hochul, just do my best foghorn leghorn because that's what he reminds me of. Let's just say it. I see that you have had crime is down and we all despise crime. And as you know, crime is bad and we despise it and it is down under your leadership. And you have said we must all follow the law. And have I mentioned how amazingly down crime is about this tremendously sad tragedy? And can we talk more about how you will continue to keep crime down because it is down? Right. Oh my God.
I know. It's like,
jeez.
Right. It's because they have to push the narrative that crime is down because we're going into election cycle. But then they got to try to find a stepping off point where they can say, well, look, crime is down. Did I mention crime was down? So what the crime in your state is down, Governor, and I believe the crime might be down, but now you've come out and said that you're against shooting police officers. I think he said, and you've been consistent on that. Don't shoot our police officers. You're consistent. Crime is down. But what can you do to stop this crime wave in New York City? Please, go ahead.
Exactly. Dude, exactly.
But you know what's interesting? I actually heard the widow of the fallen officer, and guess what? She doesn't blame gun owners, guns. She blames politicians who refuse to put these people in prison, as you pointed to. 21 times they could have kept this dude in prison, and 21 times they put him right back out until he finally killed somebody.
Yep. Correct. And so this is the point, and I'm going to do a tease setup here. I'm going to see if you follow this blindly. Tim, what's the go-to, before we play the second clip? Kathy Hochul, you know her history with the 2A and the Bruin decision and sensitive places, and right. What is her go-to when someone is killed with a gun in or around New York City? What's the go-to phrase or go-to approach she takes?
I don't know. Got to ban assault weapons.
Assault weapons, illicit guns flooding our streets.
Ghost guns. She rails against those.
Second Amendment, ghost guns, all those things,
Blame the guns. Well, it's the guns. Hashtag it's the guns. Blame the guns.
That's the high level. Hashtag it's the guns, correct? Well, let's dive into number 6, and you tell me what's mysteriously missing here. This is number 6.
Well, thank you, Reverend, for having me back on the show. And yesterday and today, the day of the funeral, it's been a heartbreaking experience for all New Yorkers. We grieve with this family, especially a young widow who has a 1-year-old son who'll be raised without his father because of the horrific acts by a brazen criminal. And I went to the wake to meet the family and speak to everyone from his wife and mother, father, brothers, sisters. Everyone is just so distraught. And yes, there's a lot of anger. Understandably, there's anger about how these individuals who commit crimes over and over are back out on the streets again.
What? Mm-hmm. She's literally the one doing it. Her party is the party doing this. This is their justice reform.
Mm-hmm. Bail reform. That's exactly right.
And she didn't mention firearms, surprisingly. She actually blamed criminals, but then somehow I just gotta believe this comes back around to blaming Americans who exercise their constitutional rights. Does she?
This is the rub.
I'm on the edge of my seat here.
You're so excited. You're so excited.
Called out the problem.
I was watching you. I was watching you when she said criminals. You gave like a triple take, like you shook your head.
No, you didn't. What you talking about, Willis? You did not go there.
Exactly. So this is the thing that's so powerful about this segment. She completely diverted from anything that she said over the last 3 years, anything to do with crimes, anything with guns, anything with murder, anything. It's always been the guns, the flooding of the guns, the epidemic of gun violence. It's always been the illicit guns on our streets. Always, 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 always. Gun manufacturers are to blame. Illegal gun dealers, gun stores,
AR-15s,
all of it. The gun lobby, AR-15s, every possible way you could go about it. She has blamed guns whenever there's a crime. However, all of a sudden, on MSNBC, now the conversation is around, well, these criminals, the actions of these criminals cause these horrible things. Didn't even mention a gun. And then at the end, he said, yeah, there's a lot of anger, of course. And how do these criminals keep on getting out and out and out? The reason they keep on getting out and out and out is your DAs, your judges, your legislature in Albany passed the laws that allow judges and DAs to do this.
Yep.
But she can't go to the gun because it doesn't make sense in the narrative because it's so obvious it does not work.
Well, I think, as I mentioned earlier, the widow who's getting a lot of attention right now is blaming crime and criminals and politicians for not locking them up. So she would have to go against a grieving widow and switch the narrative to her political narrative. I think right now she's focusing on crime, but I guarantee if she doesn't in the next clip, at some point very soon, she's going to go right back to blaming the gun. Hashtag it's the guns.
Okay, so I'm going to play the next clip because there is a shift, but it's not what you think. This is exciting stuff. I can't wait to see what you say here. This is number 7. Doc, hit it.
That's one of the reasons we worked hard with the legislature last year to change the bail laws so the judges have more discretion. And, there's a lot of complicated factors here, but I totally understand the outrage of the family. I do, and we're working hard to keep crime down. But speaking of our efforts, you know what we've done in the subways, Reverend Al. We were there together talking about it a couple weeks ago. We first deployed the National Guard, which there was a lot of criticism of. But these are simply people that are as a deterrent, a presence. Crime has gone down since we added them to the force that our Mayor Adams has brought in reinforcements. And so it's necessary to calm it all down. We changed the laws last year. Recidivism is down 40%. We're getting more guns off the street, but we have so much more work to do. And that's why my plan before the legislature brings more money for law enforcement, district attorneys, diversion programs, alternative courts, so we can get young people off the streets and into programs before they get hardened. And
wow. So she just admitted that the grieving widow has a lot to do, I think, with the narrative, right? Because she referenced her and the outrage. And then she went on, and the other thing that sticks in my mind from that clip is that she's talking about, well, and we watching her dance around this, we gave judges more discretion. We're trying to fix this. Yeah, the discretion you gave the judges was to release them on their own recognizance and not charge them with an actual crime.
Exactly right.
But
that's exactly right.
It blows my mind watching these people get up there and just bold-faced lie to the American public and not take ownership of the complete mess that they've created is costing people their lives. All the while, there's complicity here, dude. It goes right back to the narrative that they need this chaos to push their political narrative. And they're just either, if they're not facilitating the chaos, they're just more than happy to let it happen so they can get the talking point that they need. But they're getting kind of jammed up in this one because there's a widow out there that isn't being silent. And so she's trying to walk that line between blaming guns and holding some accountability for not doing anything other than to enable criminals in her state.
That's a very good way to sum it up. So here's what I got from this. There's two things that were massive. First, you picked up on it. The judges and the DAs have more discretion. Yeah, we know. That's the problem.
Activist judges.
Thanks for reinstating. Yeah. Thanks for reinstating it in a different way. That's because the bail reform laws and all the woke policies coming from the legislature in Albany. That's exactly the problem. But she couched it as, well, it's a complicated situation and the judges and the DAs have more discretion and that's up to them because you gave them the discretion by writing the law so broadly, you dunce.
And then you appoint these far left activist judges. And what do you think the outcome is?
Who take advantage of it. That's exactly right. They take advantage of the broad doors you left open in the criminal justice system. That's exactly what's happening here. But she can't say that because it would conflict with the woke policies that are in place from the legislature in New York. She's trying to walk the level of crime is down, but it's so bad that we had to apply the National Guard, but it's still down, but it's also up, but now it's going down, but it never went up. I mean, it is literally a joke of a statement. And then the last part that I caught, and this is the last thing, this is the pivot back to their woke policies, because they are pot committed. Their constituency in New York would not elect them again, and they will lose power if they do not stay beholden to the woke progressive side of the aisle. They went right back to, and in my budget to solve the problem that doesn't exist in the problem, is to get more money for more alternative courts and more criminals to get basically taken off the streets before they get hardened. So more public spending in order to get people through programs that are state funded because you're helping the criminals more. Yeah. It's just the biggest
hashtag
joke,
it's the guns, hashtag raise taxes. It's like, if we just put a tax on pollution will go away and we'll actually make billions in the process, but that's beside the point. What was really uncomfortable about this was watching her trying to dance this narrative. She was clearly struggling to get through this interview because she's trying to blame the guns without blaming the guns, knowing that she has an angry widow out there that's speaking the truth, and she knows that her own policies and far left actions have caused this just crippling effect in her state and cities, and yet she's trying to maneuver through this. Like, it wasn't really my fault. It's somebody else's fault. But you know what? We're doing everything we can. We've sure done a lot. And we're making tremendous progress, even though he just got killed. Wow, that was painful to watch. Anybody that's even remotely objective that watches that would look at her being so uncomfortable on the hot seat and go, she's hiding something.
Exactly right. She is doing a political move, and she's getting smoked on this.
Good.
I mean, this is after she got yelled at the wake by one of the attendees.
Yeah, I thought she got booed.
She got blood on her hands.
I remember.
She got booed. She got yelled at to her face. Police officers were clapping when she got chewed out and left. I mean, she was there at the wake for 10 minutes. The people are done with this, man. I'm telling you, I know it's not a popular opinion with some circles, but I'm telling you, the people are seeing what's happening. The leftist narrative, the leftist perfect dream ideals are not delivering as promised. And there's backlash. This is not going well. This is not Trump and Biden. This is approach to leftism. But anyway, that's a different thing.
But they keep electing these leftists. It's like all this stuff comes out, and they'll have an election in New York, and they'll still elect a bunch of lunatic leftists. It's like Chicago.
Well,
it's like
in New York.
I heard on the radio this morning, like Chicago has new opportunity through the next election to kind of fix the problems going on in Chicago. And it's like, and I know what they're going to do. They're going to find somebody that's even further left than the current lunatic that's running the city into the ground.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, they have a great opportunity. They have a great opportunity every 2 years.
And they screw it up every time.
It all exists.
Yeah.
It always exists. Hey, elect more of us to fix the problem that we created. Yeah, it's so fantastic.
It doesn't give me
it's really
too much
great.
hope in terms of the electorate and what they're going to do.
This is important. Okay. This is an important piece to this. Hear me out. It's not going to change in New York. It's not going to change in Illinois. But everywhere that is witnessing what happens in these blue cities, the purple areas, like the Virginias, like the North Carolinas, like the Michigans, the Wisconsins, all of those places, the Arizonas, the Georgias, they are going to revolt against these types of policies because they see that's what's going to happen. This is always a battle of what's in the middle. It's never a battle for far left or far right. It will never happen.
And this is where the pessimist comes out in me, because we just went through the last election cycle and everybody's talking about the red wave and, oh my gosh, the Democrats are going to get destroyed. Look at all the things they've screwed up. And then there's no red wave and they elect a bunch of
It's only a matter of time, man.
I just don't have faith in the people. They're so propagandized and they're so entrenched. It's D or R and that's it. And they're just going to back their pony no matter what. And even if that costs us our freedom, our country and everything else, it's just, I don't know. I'm losing faith in at least half the population. Okay, go ahead.
Well, that's the beautiful part about this partnership, Tim. We bring this, we are the sour patch of the 2A. We bring the sour, we bring the sweet, we wrap it up in a lovely, lovely, delicious treat. And speaking of wrapping it up, take us out because I got nothing.
No, I thought there was a number 8. I'm sitting here looking at the notes.
No, right. Nope. Next
so
episode.
There's no number 8, folks. Thank you for watching Second Legacy. And by the way, who do you blame for what's going on in New York? Do you think it's leftist policies, crazy reforms? Or is it #the guns? Let us know down below. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon.